Austin Chamber Music Center. I'm super excited about our upcoming concert, Clara and the Phenomena, and it focuses on Clara Schumann and the people that she influenced and the people that she was influenced by. This year we are doing big birthdays, and we are celebrating a lot of big birthdays. Most of you know that Beethoven has a huge birthday coming up, 250 years in 2020, and a lot of arts groups are gearing up for that. And in honor of that, we are featuring one of Beethoven's cello and piano sonatas on every one of our concerts this year. So on 5 concerts during the year, we'll be going to be able to see that trajectory, and then we'll have a big shebang at the end of our season finale in March. But I also thought it'd be fun to look at other composers who have big birthdays, because there are so many great composers who had such influence on the world of music and are really, really super fun to explore. And so we start with Clara Schumann, and I feel like I've been celebrating her birthday all year this year, of course, with it being 2019, and she was celebrating her 200th anniversary of her birth. The more I know about Clara Schumann, the more I discover about her, the more amazed I am at her. She was just such an incredible human being and such an incredible pianist, and she was admired by all of the great artists around her, and she just had such an incredible aura about her and her artistry. I don't think that she can be underestimated, the impact that she had. Of course, she was one of the finest pianists of her time. She was rivaled by Franz Liszt, and that was kind of it. She toured the world at a time when it wasn't normal for women to be concert pianists touring the world. And she was an incredibly precocious composer, especially as a young person. She was writing music already at the age of 6, 7, and 8 with the help of her father. But she would always write these wonderful virtuosic pieces that had ingenuity throughout them, and she always performed them as well. So it was kind of her calling card in a way as well. And her music can be described as really ingenious in terms of like choices that she makes with harmony and melody and form, and she brings something unique to the table, certainly with her compositional voice. And so what I wanted to do was pair together music that kind of spoke to that ingenuity and unique sense. So we start with Beethoven's cello sonata, the first one that he wrote, Opus 5, number 1. And Opus 5, that's really early Beethoven. And throughout this piece that you'll be hearing, you'll hear all of these sort of shocking moments, shocking in terms of harmony, harmonic progressions that we don't expect to happen, shocking in terms of the form that he uses. For instance, this cello sonata only has 2 movements. Almost all, sonatas by Haydn and Mozart always had 3 movements, but this is 2 movements, and he intersperses slow movement sort of ideas within those 2 fast movements. As I mentioned, the harmony can be shocking at times, and I always expect to be shocked by Beethoven, especially late Beethoven. I expect that to have my expectations just kind of crashed through. But you don't always expect that from early Beethoven. And right here we get the kernel of that sort of life that Beethoven was always experimenting, always kind of pushing the boundaries. And we get that, and I think that is so similar to Clara Schumann and what she was trying to do with her music. And then we will also have Johannes Brahms's piano trio, Opus 8. I always love pairing together Clara Schumann with Johannes Brahms because, of course, they had such an incredible relationship. And this is early Brahms that we're doing as well, Opus 8. So that's really early in his creativity. What's interesting is that even though the trio's Opus 8, he revised it much later, like I think in 1886. So he combines that sort of early, fresh, exciting voice together with like late craft and this craftsmanship and this ability to bring together ideas in a really taut and cultured way. And I love this trio, and I love thinking about this trio in respect to Clara Schumann, because when Brahms was putting out his early works, his early opus works, he was finally got an introduction to the Schumanns, to Robert and Clara Schumann. And he played music for him, his opus 1, his opus 2, his opus 5. These were piano pieces, these piano sonatas. And when he played his music for Robert and Clara, it completely blew their mind. They were so impressed by the emotional impact of the pieces, the way that they were tender and powerful at the same time, his ability to maneuver through harmony and melody and rhythm and have this sort of rhythmic integrity to everything that he did. And his voice was unique and fresh, and I think both Clara and Robert fell deeply in love with him right after they heard his music for the first time. And so this Opus 8 trio was right at that time of them first meeting each other and having this sort of infatuation of artistry and command. And the Opus 8 trio is just, it's so incredibly beautiful. I think it's one of the most beautiful pieces that I know, and I always love playing it, and especially with that idea of that relationship and the tenderness and the sweetness of that sort of apprenticeship that the Schumanns gave to Brahms and really taking him under their wing. I think it's going to be an incredible concert. I'm looking forward to seeing you all there, and we will talk more about big birthdays as the season unfolds.